Hey guys, this is Derek Porter, sales manager with Soil Service in Central Illinois. It is April 17th and it is still very cold and very wet here in Central Illinois. I live about 40 miles southwest of Peoria. Actually, just got in from doing chores here this morning. We have our own cow calf operation along with we feed out some fat cattle. And the last 3 mornings I went out and chored. The temperatures range anywhere from about 20 to 32 degrees. So this is pretty unprecedented, at least in my lifetime. Weather-wise, I've never experienced anything like this at this time of year here in Central Illinois. And talking to my dad, and he kind of says the same thing. He's never really witnessed anything like this. But eventually, spring will get here, hopefully, fingers crossed. And when it does, you know as well as I do, it is going to go quick. Okay. And I think it's important that we take this time right now to make sure that we have everything that we need. Okay. So, particularly if you're a guy who uses starter fertilizer, either product, starter fertilizer delivery system, if you have a need for ag chemicals, spray adjuvants, we deal with Yetter equipment, ag leader technology. If you need any help or any assistance in any of those areas, please give us a call, guys. Okay, we'll be more than happy to help you in any way that we can. All right. Um, so my main reason for doing a video here this morning um, was to talk about something that's kind of been at the forefront of my mind here in the last couple days. And I guess I will lead into this. You know, last week I was listening to a podcast and they're talking about biological products. And one of the products that they talked about quite a bit was sugar. And sugar's gotten quite a bit of fanfare, particularly over the last 3 to 4 years, in large part because a lot of these high yield guys are using sugar, and there's been a lot of research done on sugar that has really been very impressive and very promising. If you want a very cost effective way to increase your yield, there's a lot of research out there, guys, that shows that sugar might be a good thing to look at from that aspect. And here at Soil Service, we have our own proprietary sugar product called Sugar E-Boost. And what Sugar E-Boost is it is a liquid sugar product, very easy to mix, very easy to handle. That gives you around 6.5 pounds of sugar per gallon. So compared to other liquid sugars on the market, guys, it is very loaded. Okay, and we've tested our sugar product both in furrow and in our foliar feed programs. And in corn, for in furrow applications with our starter fertilizer, we've seen anywhere from about a 3 to 10 bushel yield response. And in our foliar feed program, we've seen in corn anywhere from a 4 to 12 bushel yield response in corn, and in soybeans anywhere from like a 3 to 9 bushel yield response. And just to kind of give you some perspective, guys, both in furrow and in our foliar feed programs, we are applying our sugar product at a pint per acre. And a pint per acre, you can apply that for less than $1. Okay, so if you're getting anywhere from a 3 to 12 bushel yield response, corn or beans, do the math on that. I mean, really, you shouldn't have to crunch any numbers to really give you some perspective on how healthy of a return on investment that our Sugar E-Boost product can give you. Okay, and why do we get that kind of yield response? First of all, in our foliar feed programs, I've always explained sugar as a liquid carbon source. Okay, and what that liquid carbon source gives you is that plant loves liquid carbon. And whatever you apply, so if you're applying a foliar feed product, that liquid sugar almost opens that plant up and allows that product to more effectively get into that plant. And, we've got yield responses, guys, that, I can make the case. Not only does it help with the efficiency of your foliar feed program, it can actually make your foliar feed program work, okay? Because it opens that plant up and it helps get product into that plant, okay? From a soil apply standpoint, so I'm looking at anything in furrow or anything broadcasted in like a nutrient recycling program. Applying sugar is like giving the soil microbes a can of Red Bull, okay? It makes those microbes go into overdrive, and it causes those microbes to break down crop residue, which when we break down crop residue, what's one of the things we get? We get release of nutrients. And I've heard this told to me over and over again, guys, that the easiest plants for a nutrient to get are nutrients that have already been through a plant. Okay, so if we can stimulate the microbial population by using sugar, we get a free release of nutrients out of your residue. Those nutrients are very easy for a plant to get. Okay, and the other thing that we get when we stimulate our microbial population, and this really stuck out to me in the podcast that I was listening to, and this is particularly important when we talk in terms of soybeans, was those microbes, when they break down crop residue, they release carbon dioxide. And why is that important? Carbon dioxide, guys, is what plants breathe in, okay? So just like you and I, we breathe in oxygen, plants breathe in carbon dioxide, okay? And that carbon dioxide helps that plant photosynthesize, okay? So this is particularly important when we look at soybeans. And right now I'm looking out the window and I see, corn stalk residue that has a cover crop of cereal rye on it. And I want you to think about this. A lot of the research that's been done on high yield soybeans, one thing that they found is soybeans usually yield better when they are preceded by continuous corn on corn. Okay. So the guys that have had, 5, 6, 7 years of continuous corn, once they go back to soybeans, that's when they typically see their best yields. I know when I was a crop specialist at a local fertilizer dealer here in my area, the guys that, planted soybeans after continuous corn, they would see anywhere from, 7 to upwards of maybe even a 15 bushel yield response. And think about why that could be. When you have have continuous corn on corn, you're releasing or you're giving back to that soil a lot of crop residue. And when the microbes break down that crop residue, they release carbon dioxide. And the more residue you have there, the more CO2 that is released. And the more CO2 that is released, like we said in soybeans, soybeans love carbon dioxide. It helps that plant photosynthesize that much better. Okay. So I'm looking, like I said, out my window right now at a field of cereal rye that was planted after corn. And one thing, I know that we're really going to look at on our farm is what would a gallon of our Sugar E-Boost product provide to us in terms of residue breakdown, okay? Like I said, our Sugar E-Boost product compared to others is loaded. 6 pounds of sugar or 6.5 pounds of sugar per gallon of product. Give you some perspective, guys. Applying that at a gallon per acre, it would cost you, in terms of soybeans, about a half a bushel of soybeans to break even. Okay. John Vertle, who is our salesman down in Missouri, has applied a gallon of sugar with his cover crop program when he terminates it in order to help break that residue down. Seen excellent results. Anywhere from, I think I talked to him the other day, he's seen upwards of 12 bushel response in soybeans just by applying our Sugar E-Boost product to help stimulate the microbial population and break down that crop residue. And that was in soybeans. Okay, think about that. If you are planting cover crops right now, or if you're continuous corn, you don't even have to be continuous corn or planting cover crops. It could just be in corn stalk residue. The more that you can break down that residue out there, the more you can get free release of nutrients, free release of the carbon dioxide. You know, we're always trying to find low hanging fruit to increase soybean yield. Well, sugar could very well provide that. And I want to back up here. I said, we've applied that product at a pint per acre, either in furrow or with our foliar feed products. So why do, we need to up that to a gallon when we talk about residue breakdown? And, you know, I guess right now I can't really, say that, there's a sweet spot for the amount of sugar that, needs to be applied. All I'll say is, just from my experience, the more sugar you can apply, the better that residue breakdown. Okay, and that's the advantage of our Sugar E-Boost product. Per gallon, it is already loaded. I mean, you get, like I said, 6.5 pounds of sugar per gallon. We there's a lot of guys out there that buy sugar from Sam's Club or wherever. Figure up how much sugar it would take, how many bags of sugar it would take to equal a gallon of our sugar product per acre. Okay, I mean you're talking quite a bit. I mean it would be, you'd almost be hard pressed to get your hands maybe on that much sugar. you know, so we already give you our product. It's already in liquid format. Like I said, you don't have to. It doesn't take much to mix it. Easy to handle. And I challenge you guys. If you're trying, like if you're in cover crop situations, try to maximize the benefits of those cover crops. Don't just look at it from a standpoint of that cover crop held my soil together. It kept it from washing away or blowing away. Try to maximize the benefits of that cover crop throughout the entire season by using a product like sugar to help break that down. If you're in continuous corn, we already talked about the yield benefit you see, particularly when you have soybeans that follow continuous corn. Try to maximize that benefit even further. And I say all that, guys. We're in a very volatile market. I mean, who knows what these tariffs are going to do if they ever actually go through. It is going to be important to try to maximize yield as much as we can. And when I'm sitting here thinking about ways to do that, one of the best ways that I've seen is by applying sugar. And so if you this interests you, if you would like to at least try this on your farm, please give us a call. We would be more than happy to help you out. And as always, guys, thank you for your support, and we hope you hope spring gets here. And as always, stay safe, guys, and we will talk to you later.